Hi there. This is Bryce Gladwin. Just started out my channel here, and I thought I'd show you guys one of the tournaments that I recently played in. Spoiler alert, I didn't win. I actually lost at the finals, and I had two people actually forfeit their matches. So, not a lot of gameplay footage here, but I did kind of want to show off a couple of these matches just because I did think they were fun. And it's also kind of fun to see when you lose, why did you lose? So let's go ahead and take a look at this together. So I am a Nobushi main. I just came back to the game about 3 weeks ago, and have been slowly just building up my rep with Nobushi. She's my girl. What can I say? I kind of like her play style. It's cautious, but can be quick and fierce, and that's really my preferred play style in a lot of games. I don't like to be overly aggressive, but I also don't like to play defensively, so she's a nice mid-range character that I enjoy. I'm playing as the White Cliff Breakers. What a weird name that is. And this is in the Duel Tournament beta. I'm a rank 1 gold right now. I'm going to be facing off against this Peacekeeper. She's a rep 10. Looks like she's silver. So hopefully I'll be able to come out on top. Let's see what happens. Oh, she's got a sweet blade. Nice effect. So usually in the first match, I'm sizing up the opponent. I put in some pokes here and there just to see how they're going to react. Some assassins are really dodge-centric. I'm testing her to see, okay, is she going to dodge left and right every time I attack? She does dodge a majority of the time. So now I'm just trying to bait here. Trying to look for the parry. That, I actually messed up the input. I was supposed to release that and then guard break, but I missed the timing. But as you can see, my method is working. She is dodging left and right, and I'm going to be able to take advantage of that. Going into round 2 here. Now I'm going to start being more aggressive because I want her to start moving in ways that I can predict. When someone's being aggressive towards you, it can be difficult to predict. You can react, but it can be difficult to predict, and prediction is really where you want to be at. Nice backward step there, just to give me some distance. Here I get the parry in. I'm not following up with any kicks, and the reason for that is against Peacekeeper, it's generally speaking not a good idea to do that against against higher tiered players. They will just instinctively dodge your step and then hit you with a light, so it's not really worth it. It's better to get in with pokes. Got a nice mix up there she did. I'm looking for the guard break. She's staying agile though. And as you can see, I won that one. Not an easy win, but definitely not too hard either. I was allowed to control the fight, and that's why I came out on top. Alright, going into round 3 here. Once again, trying to bait. I was going to feint the second attack if she dodged. Now here I actually mess up and don't counter guard break twice, unfortunately. So, yeah, it wasn't good. She's looking for the guard break though. She knows she got it in twice. Maybe he sucks at guard break cancel, so she's going to keep trying it, and I managed to actually take advantage of that in one moment. Here we go with a hidden stance. I'm a little too slow on the guard break there, and so it doesn't catch her in the middle of her dodge. Here she does something which was weird. She asks for a second. I don't know why. And the bleed had already ended, so it wasn't like she was cheating, so I allowed it. She's all about those side dodges. Now, for some reason, I lost my head during this match particularly and just stopped trying to bait her and instead just kept trying to attack her. and that lost me the second round. It's important to stay focused in the middle of a fight. You kind of want to win quickly, or you become angry with your opponent. It's always a good idea to stick to your plan. In boxing, that's exactly how people do it. They have a plan, they stick to their plan. It's when you mix up your plan in the middle of a fight that you start not knowing what the next step is, and you kind of falter. That's not to say you can't improvise. Like here I'm throwing in a lot more guard breaks, and then I threw in a non-feinted heavy. I didn't know that she wasn't going to parry the heavy, I just threw it in. So sometimes it is good to be unpredictable, but unpredictability should be a part of your strategy. All right, round 5, final round. We're all tied up. Tensions are high. Let's go ahead and see how this plays out. A nice move by her right there. Took a large chunk of my health. I'm looking for that guard break, but it's not coming in. Now in this instance, because I got the heavy, I knew she was going to be thrown off. Sometimes when someone misses a block, it throws them off. So I went ahead and threw in a kick as well, because she wasn't going to be thinking about dodging the kick. She was going to be thinking about parrying my next attack. There we go. I get in a nice quick hit. Once again, I'm too aggressive there, and I pay for it. But I also get her back and win the match. Barely. And that was match 1. I just thought it was fun. It was really a fair fight, and I was really engaged the whole time. Let's go ahead and move on to our second round. Okay, so here we are getting into the next match against a Warlord. He's only rep 3. Of course, I'm only rep 4, so what does that say? But this match, it was kind of an easy one. So I'll just really talk about Warlord versus Nobushi strategy here. Spacing is important because Warlord really wants to be in your face. As you can see right there, I kept my distance and was easily able to get away from his headbutt. I wasn't able to punish on it, though I could have if I had reacted soon enough. So spacing against Warlord is really key. They tend to go for guard breaks. They tend to use that headbutt punish to get in some chip damage. So make sure you're maintaining your spacing against a Warlord. So you can see I dispatched him pretty easily. The guy just is not able to deal with the Nobushi kick, and he's pretty easily tricked into trying to parry a feinted heavy. So now he actually is going to take a round off of me here. I feint a heavy into a guard break, into a kick, and then he proceeds to follow me around. See, he's trying to close the gap, and I'm trying to get away from him. I don't do it in this match because I was fairly confident in my ability to handle what he was throwing out. But Viper's Retreat really is a great move to use against the Warlord. That way you eliminate his ability to space. And then here's the BS. I throw a heavy, it doesn't connect. I just chalk that up to being a bug. Nobushi's a little buggy lately. If you parry, you can't actually get a heavy off of it right now. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And then he was out of stamina, and I went for a heavy, and for some reason it didn't connect. So I just attribute it to a bug. Hopefully they fix that soon. Okay, here we go, round 3. Now, as you can tell, once again, I'm keeping my distance, but here I'm trying to bait him into an attack as I'm dashing back and forth. And generally, if people see you doing something predictable, they'll plan to squeeze in an attack between your predictable movements. I was expecting it, so I was really ready for his attack, and then basically opened him up with a bunch of different strikes and a kick or two. By the way, quick tip for those of you who play Dominion. As cool as some of the executions are, it really is best to go with her default execution and the one I just used there. It's very quick. You execute your enemy quickly, and then you can move on and start attacking the other enemy team if you're in the middle of like a team battle. So just keep that in mind. Your fancy execution might end up losing you the match because you didn't have enough time to go revive somebody or to help defend a teammate. So he's constantly wanting to get closer to me because that's his zone. That's where he is effective. Unless I'm on the attack, I'm constantly keeping my distance from him. Right now, I'm all up in his face. He's just not able to deal with it and ultimately dies. And I take the victory. Now, this is a good example of playing someone who doesn't necessarily know how to deal with you. So, surprise, surprise, the person who made it to the finals is the same guy who we just faced. As I said, the other two matches were forfeited by the other team. So this is going to be a great example of how you defeat yourself. You saw the last match I had with this guy. I decimated him. There's no way he should have been able to beat me. But he did something very smart. He changed his style. He didn't keep doing the same thing. He knew what to expect from me, and he adjusted, which is what you always want to do, especially when facing an opponent multiple times. Both within the same match, you want to adjust your play style. But in a tournament situation like this, you need to be thinking, what moves did he use against me last time? What was his play style? How can I counter that using my character? So what he basically did was, instead of being the aggressor, he became the defender. I went on the attack against him, not knowing actually that it was the same person. I didn't realize it was the same guy at the time. If I had known that, I think I would have changed my strategy. And because he decided to say, hey, I'm going to wait for you to throw out attacks, and then I'm going to counter them, he was successful in taking that round from me, and actually this whole match. But you're going to see me do some technical things that show that I do know how to beat this guy. In this match, right here, he only throws out 2 attacks. I was all over him this whole match, this whole particular match right here that we just finished. I did not let him get in more than 2 attacks, and I countered everything he threw at me. I was constantly all over him, and that's how I was in our first fight. Once I realized that he didn't know how to deal with me, I was very aggressive, because putting pressure on someone causes them to fumble. But what I mean when I say we defeat ourselves, or I defeated myself here, meaning I could have won this, but because I messed it up, I lost. It's not because he was better than me, it's because I messed it up that I lost. What I mean by that is that I missed the parries on so many of his heavy attacks because they have a delay and they have super armor on them. I just, for whatever reason, didn't parry them correctly. And thus I ended up dead on the floor, just like in this match. Now here, I'm going to go back to my strategy of being aggressive, and it's also going to display that despite him changing his strategy, he still doesn't quite have all the tools to deal with a Nobushi player. I parry him here, and then guard break, heavy, kick, heavy, kick, heavy, kick, and he's dead. He didn't, for whatever reason, dodge out of any of those kicks. I didn't delay them either. I just threw him out. And he just died. An advanced player, that never would have happened to them. But because I knew he didn't quite know how to dodge the kick, I just went for it and ended up killing him. Now this last match is going to show once again, I knew how to beat this guy, but my skills failed me. I just wasn't able to parry. I wasn't focused. my strategy was inconsistent. As I said, some rounds I'm really aggressive and putting the pressure on him, and then other rounds I'm really defensive and trying to parry everything. And it's not working out for me. Right here, I miss a parry. I'm trying to be aggressive, and then it works. He learns, of course, to dodge the kick eventually here. And then here comes another parry. I'm going to miss it. I got the second parry, though. And here he is. He has a sliver of health left, and I missed the last parry and die. So it was my game to lose, and I lost it. He adjusted his gameplay style, but I think because I didn't know it was the same person, I was still trying to figure him out, and I took too long to do it and didn't commit to a particular strategy and ended up losing. Nobushi is a great character in many respects, but because she's so light, and what I mean when I say light is she has very little health, you really do need to be on top of your strategies. If you're going to be aggressive, make sure you know how to get out from under your opponent, meaning how to back up, how to zone them. If you're going to be defensive, make sure your parries are on time, especially against a warlord or any characters that have delayed attacks. Well, thank you very much for watching this. I'm sad to say I lost, but I learned something, of course, and I hope you guys did too. If you have a question for me about playing Nobushi or just generally about For Honor, there are not a lot of new players out there. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Please leave it in the comment section below. I'll go ahead and respond back to you. Leave a like as well. That really helps me out, and if you're willing to, please subscribe. I know there's not a lot of videos right now, but I do intend to be producing content consistently in the future here, and it will be focused around Nobushi. So if you're wanting to learn this character, follow along with me. I'll explain my matches to you so you can have a great understanding not only of the character Nobushi, but of how she ranks against other characters and how best to deal with those characters. Except for Shaman, because Shaman is BS. Just kidding. We'll learn how to deal with Shaman as well. Thank you so much for watching, and fight for honor with honor.